Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Buzzing with Brilliance podcast, where we are showcasing extraordinary entrepreneurs, where they share their 3 fun and easy tips to success, their version of success. My name is Mary Gooden. I am a speaker, mentor, publisher, and truly the CEO and founder of My Brilliant Life, as I support soul-inspired business owners and entrepreneurs to grow their visibility, to grow their impact, and really to profit on purpose through speaking and writing. Today, lucky me, I am joined by the brilliant Lauren. Welcome to the show, Lauren. Tell us a little bit about yourself, of course, where you're from and how you support your clients.
Thank you. Hi, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, my name is Lauren. I'm from Mount Shasta. I guess not from, I'm here now. I've been here for the past 4 years. Mount Shasta is a really beautiful, picturesque mountain town in the middle of Northern California. It's a volcano that has just all this like really beautiful earth energy. Could talk for hours about Mount Shasta. I've been here for about 4 years, previously from Sedona, Dallas, a few other places, sprinklings in the Pacific Northwest. I am passionate about helping my clients fulfill, activate, lean into, and sometimes discover their soul purpose. So whether that's helping retreat clients and retreat planning clients that help them to find like their retreat leader like message, mission. I have private clients that I do quantum soul coaching with, and it's all hovers around helping people really like awaken to their own divinity, get access to their God spark, and really just like bring that forward in whatever way that their soul needs to express that. I know that my purpose is very much intertwined with helping other people find their own purpose. I use a lot of different tools to do that in my private practice in the healing arts. I've used shamanic energy healing. I do some psychological mapping and like personality assessments like the Enneagram. I do numerology, astrology. I'm just dabbling in getting into human design and kind of just creating a blueprint for their soul and how their soul again wants to express themselves. And I'm just passionate about just helping people find their way in life. I think it came from being a sensitive child and not really knowing my place in the world until I did know. And now that I do know, I'm really passionate about making sure that other people have like the support that they need if they're HSP, highly sensitive or empathic. And if they're called to leadership, then they need special kind of support, and I'm here for it.
God, I love that God spark. That really it really is. And so thank you. Thank you for being in this level of work in the world. Because it's true. Like we all have this divinity within us. We all have this spark. We all have this message. We all have this piece of the puzzle. And it behooves us to share it vulnerably and raw and real. And then also, even though people won't always walk the same path and take the same steps, which is why I put together this level of podcasting for entrepreneurs and business owners that are buzzing, hearing other people's steps will activate something in us that we feel sufficient, confident, and excited to take the next step towards what our soul or our God spark is really asking us to step into. Because I believe all of our own paths are very genuine, but where 2 or more are gathered, we can expedite. Not that we have to expedite the journey in any way, shape, or form, but I'm glad that I did to some level because now I'm having way more fun for a way longer period of time. So yeah, a lot of modalities that you've listed there, Lauren. Those are very powerful modalities for those of you that are like, what are all those things? And some of these are just personality ideas about how your makeup is, how you're made up. We have codes in us. We
Mhm.
do. We are really a bigger piece of technology than the computer that I'm staring at right now. And the only reason we don't understand all of that is because there hasn't been a quality teaching to it. And now we're all waking up
Mhm.
and we're sparking that, we're lighting and igniting that for ourselves and for others. So always a bow in reverence to this work. So thank you. I would love to hear a snippet, and I know the audience would too, about your kind of your hero's journey through this entrepreneurial space or through your life, of what really activated you to say, I'm doing this. I'm stepping up and I'm using my voice to lead others.
I love that. Thank you.
Mm.
It's been it, it's been a journey, and I know everyone has their struggles in life and has their. I mean, like you said, it's a hero's journey. You know, it's from for me. It was when I was. I like to share this too. Is like I feel like I was plucked out to do this kind of work. When I was gosh, 21, I think 22. I had been in Bellingham, Washington, just kind of like living my quote unquote normal 3D life. And I was working for a chiropractor at the time. Had just started getting into like health and wellness in that industry, coming from like being a barista for so long. And so obviously a much different industry. And so I was learning, you know, well, chiropractic and the spine, and it's in the chiropractor that I worked for was very like energetically aligned with all of it. So this was like a brand new world for me. And one of our I want to say patients because they're not patients, like clients, I guess, coming into the office was a shamanic psychotherapist.
Mm.
And he was looking for somebody who had experience in medical billing, which I was doing for the chiropractor. So he's like, hey, are you looking for any extra work? I need like 5-10 hours a week. And I did, you know, I said yes, because I would love to, you know, I've always been kind of like a worker. I've always liked to keep busy and just like do things. So I'm like, yes, I don't care if I'm working full time already. But through the course of working with him for a little while, he purchased me my first Reiki attunement. He's like, I think you'd be really good at this. And I was like, oh, and I'd known about energy healing and energy work, and I'd known that I somehow wanted to work with it, but he didn't know that. And the fact that he saw that and plucked that out of me and said, here, go and do this. That was a pivotal moment where I like had such a beautiful experience with my first attunement. It's like, there's something here. I want to continue down this. And so like, you know, multiple modalities later, chasing this like, you know, idea that there's going to be one, you know, modality that's going to fix everything and fix the world and heal the world. Everything's going to be great. Like, of course, it doesn't exist. It's multiple things all at once. And it's really like bringing it back to ourselves and bringing out, again, that God spark, bringing out what we're here for. And that is even more healing in arm in arm with all these other modalities. So, however, it took me a while to figure that out. So about 20 years I've spent studying different modalities, alpha biotics, core synchronism, polarity therapy, marma therapy, all along like the energy work. And then when I learned the modality alpha biotics, it got into a little bit more of the neuroscience and healing the brain, and you know, how do you have access to both sides of the brain when you are in a healing state versus being in that fight or flight survival mode. And then that turned into this beautiful like recovery of this like old like creativity that I'd given up when I was 19, 20 and left art school. So for me on a personal level, it was this beautiful, like full circle of like, well, I went into the healing world, not only to find this modality that's going to help other people, but it truly helped me in a way that I didn't see coming. And I got to be an artist again. I got to like flourish in that way and heal my brain, heal my stuff. So going back to the entrepreneurial part is like, I had to find my own way because I didn't know there was a way. You know, I did have like work for other people for the majority of like my 20s and early 30s. And then when I was, let's see, really, it's been the last like 4 or 5 years leaving in Dallas. I worked for myself for a little while doing marketing consultancy. And then when I came out here to Mount Shasta in the middle of COVID, and there wasn't anything. There was
Yeah.
everything was shut down. There were no jobs, no anything. And I'm used to like always having a job because I just, again, I like to be busy. Of course, I like to support myself. And so I kind of had to like make some choices and make some things happen. And I got into the vacation rentals business when I got out here. And through meeting key people, it turned into me being a freelance marketing person, and then turned into kind of re-sparking this idea to do healing containers, which then when I thought of it in 2015, I didn't know it was going to be retreats. But then when that came back to doing retreats, I've been a self-sufficient like entrepreneur for the past about four years since I've been here, just doing my own thing. And I love it.
Mm.
I don't know that I could ever go back to working for somebody. I do have clients that I work for, but it's like I build my own time. I build my own schedule. I have more control, and I just love that feeling. And I get to fulfill my purpose of helping other people like live out theirs. And I just love supporting people. And it's a whole new world of like how to support ourselves financially and through abundance, but also like how to, you know, encourage others to like take on that entrepreneurial thing. Cause it's definitely like very like unique pathway.
Yeah.
I think if anyone is called to it, do it.
I
Find
think too, I mean, this is all the premise of life is always happening for you. And just as you've shared your story and people that start writing their story, which writing my own story helped me also realize, wait a minute, all this knowledge, none of it was wasted. None of these experiences were wasted. They all led up to something. And to bring it all the way full circle, it's like once you find your own God spark, you become you just become so excited about any way that you can support other people in sparking their own. It really becomes a very open and giving way of like, I just want more people to feel and experience what I'm feeling. And I love your painting. It's been catching my eye the whole time we've been on the call. It's beautiful. It's magnificent color. So bringing it all together, what a journey, what a story. And I'm sure some of the listeners can relate to all of this. And you know, there's lots of things that we can be. And even though they've always told us to niche in and limit yourself, each thing that we feel invited to be is going to help activate us to the next thing that makes it easier, or it helps it make more sense, or there's more confidence behind it. So if anybody in your life right now is telling you you do too much, kind of sit back and say, well, I'm just learning a lot because there's big things that I'm going to create. That's what I always say. So you've got three amazing tips for us today, and I love for you to share these amazing tips with us. And just a little background. I know we have a few minutes, so let her rip. Tell us some of your secrets to building your own success, or your non-negotiables, I like to call them.
Thank you. The first one I'd like to share with people is I steal it just a tiny bit from Simon Sinek, but it's know your why.
Mhm.
And it's like can be the guiding light to everything you do. Like even when I didn't know what I was doing with my life when I was like 19, 20, I thought I was going to be an artist. I was in art school. Like if to see my life, how much it's changed now. My why still throughout that entire time when I embarked on this new pathway into wellness was I knew my why was because I wanted to help other people. I wanted to support other people. Again, I wanted to help people activate, lean into, discover their own soul purpose. And that's always been my why. So even though it's felt like I've kind of, self-admittedly gone around and done different things, it's always been like, what am I doing that's going to serve humanity? And that's carried me through like all of my journey, and brought me to what I'm doing today, which now I'm like, I've bullseyed it. I'm like, I'm on point, and now I can help people like really, truly through my own experience, help people get there as well.
It supports too with helping people quickly shift, because they don't really have to go out and get all these modalities, but you were a chosen one. So it's super good. I love it. Know your why. Number one, write it down, everyone. Number two,
I would
I'm
say,
like a little teacher over here sometimes.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Number two, I always like to say, like, ditch the overwhelm. And I say this to myself constantly too. It's like, you don't have to know everything, ... before you get started. So I am like the probably best and worst at making sure that, like my Virgo, I've got 5 planets in Virgo. I have to make sure everything is planned out before I can feel comfortable to start. And what I've learned, and what, thankfully, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, has challenged me with, is to make sure that, you still need to do the things before you know the outcome. And it's that self-trust that we talked about, like knowing like your why, and even if like one step in front of the other, even if you don't know the end game or the end goal, you're doing it with your why, and you're doing it without knowing fully how it's going to turn out, and not let yourself get overwhelmed in that process of thinking you have to do everything. And sometimes you learn by taking those steps. And I think that's really important.
I love that you brought up that word overwhelm. I have reconfigured that word to be overflow.
Mm.
And so when I feel that energy coming on, I'm like, here I am in the overflow right now, really dancing with all that is available. And then I like to share with my clients that, that is a big thing to stepping forward, uncertainty. And so I said it once, and sometimes it just comes out of me, but it really stuck with me, and it has supported a lot of my clients. But uncertainty is just infinite space to create.
Ooh, I love that.
It's just now, this is your blank canvas, friends. It's nothing more than that, because in the end, we're all miraculous manipulators. And yes, I use that word. It's the same word as manifestation. They're the same energy. We're manipulating, we're manifesting, we are putting our heart and our hands in the process that we desire to bring forth. So, woo, I like that too. That felt good saying it. And then you've got, what's your lucky number 3, Lauren?
It is how to passively grow your network just by being you. And it's kind of like how this conversation has gone, how we connected, how like we know people in other networks. It's like when you're showing up, again, living your why, living your purpose, and you are speaking about the things that light you up, that activate your soul purpose, your God spark, what things that actually like bring you joy, it's automatically going to magnetize the right people to you, in a way that you don't have to, like in a 3D sense, where we're taught to like, oh, put yourself out there, business cards, like network, and join all these things. And yes, there's a lot of really beautiful, obviously, tools to do that, but you're going to have more effectiveness and more resonance when you are just being rather than doing. And I think that, again, just by being you and living your heart song and living your God spark in the exact way that your soul's meant here to do, that is probably more important than all those other smaller things that you can be doing.
It's so true. It reminded me, Lauren, and thank you. I love reminders of when I started my first podcast, Shine Your Soul Light. And I remember after I recorded the first 10 episodes and then I just kept going. And I remember saying, gosh, look how far I've come, that I'm spending most of the time during my day, my awake time, listening to soulful conversations. And that's exactly what you're talking about. You grow your network by getting in rooms and just being who you are, and it becomes automatic. Yeah, there's some passing of business cards sometimes with on the airplane or on a hike or something, but when you're just being you, the universe says, I see you, or God says, I see you. And then so do the other people that need to see you. It's wild and fun. But isn't that what life was supposed to be anyway? Wild and fun. Oh, that's my version. Well, thank you. For those of you that missed any of these, I'm going to repeat them. Know your why. Make that like something every day that you wake up and say, this is my why today. Because sometimes it can shift a little bit. When you evolve, your why evolves. So that's okay too. It doesn't mean that you've given up on anything. It means you've evolved. Ditch the overwhelm, right? You're in the overflow. There's a lot of opportunities and resources out there. Decide which one fits in your why, right? Yeah, and then get out there. Grow yourself by being yourself. I love these, Lauren. I just love them. Thank you for sharing them. Thank you so much. How can people get closer to you? How can they work with you? How can they learn more about you, Lauren?
Beautiful. Thank you. I, of course, you can always reach me through my retreat company. It's Orion Retreats. My email, reach out anytime, info@orionretreats.com. I am on Instagram. My retreat company is Orion, Instagram handle @Orion Retreats. My personal one, where I share a lot of like my thought leadership and a lot of my like insights on my life and other people's lives and with the creation, is at Shine Your Divine, which I think is beautiful synchronicity with what your original podcast was. And yeah, I mean, DM, email anytime. I would love to like just start conversations with people. That's really what I love to do as well.
So fun to chat. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing all your words of wisdom today. And for those of you that keep on listening, thank you for listening. Go out there as your divine self, be yourself, know yourself, love yourself. And that will really bring to you your version of success or the things that support your why. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart, Lauren. It's been a pleasure to sit beside you and listen to your tips. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you so much.